Oh, there we go. Hey, we're now live.
We're live.
Well, hey, Linda.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, hey, everybody. We're Steve and Linda, Stephen Ritz and Linda Sytech. We just merged our names there for a second. And we're from the Abode at Keller Williams Realty in Winter Park, Orlando area. And today we just wanted to chat with you of how we've been working with our clients and our friends and our supporters during COVID. As you know, we've been part of the community for a long time, and we wanted to help serve the Orlando community during this stressful time with the pandemic. There's a couple different ways that we've been able to help because, Orlando has really been affected because of the tourism, right, Linda, especially down in Osceola County.
Absolutely. Yeah. And South Orange County as well has really been affected because of how much our economy is based on tourism.
It's true. And there's so much unemployment and continuing with unemployment of some of the major theme parks that are just rolling out more disappointing numbers, shall we say, since we don't have a vaccine yet. So we really wanted to talk to you today about the 4 different ways we've been able to help the Orlando community and ways you can help as well too, because these are just thoughts and ideas. Yes. These are just things that we've come up with, and we just wanted to share some of those things because even if you're not a business and you're an individual, you can do these sort of things yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is a great way to if you're trying to think, how can I help the community? These are some 4 ways of doing that.
Exactly. Why don't you start with the first one, Linda? What would you say the first way is that you might be able to help people in the community, or that
dig up your contact, your phone book, and mark it and start making phone calls. And we call them care calls. So
right.
We started that at the beginning of the pandemic, which was 7 months ago. And we were scared ourselves. We didn't know what was happening. It just happened. It happened so quick. And we wanted to reach out to what we call as our sphere of influence, our friends, family, and our past and current clients that we have.
Wouldn't you say we even got something out of it too by talking to them?
Yeah, very much so. It was actually cathartic to have these deep conversations, and it wasn't about real estate. It was about how they were doing, how they were coping with having, if they were a young family of having young kids at home that would normally be at school. And them having to still have their job, doing Zoom calls, and then having their kids doing Zoom calls.
Exactly.
It was a lot.
You know what I found out? Because you're right. We had people who had all of a sudden very full lives. Their households were bustling with noise and with energy and doing lots of stuff, and almost to the point where they were overwhelmed. And then we had people we'd call, maybe like myself. I live by myself. And so we had people who were like, oh, I'd love to talk to you. I have time to talk. There's some people who were furloughed and weren't working, or there are people who were working from home but had a flexible schedule. And so, we'd called people before in the past and had, short 5-minute conversations. But what would you say the average conversation time was with our clients and friends and spheres, Linda?
I would probably say the average was a good 20 minutes. Some of them were 40, 45 minutes long, and it was great. It was great to be able to get to know our clients better at a really deep level. And so that was really great. Like you said, it was good for us as well.
Exactly. And I don't know. I remember just talking to some people, and they're like, we don't know what's going to happen next. And they're very caring about us too, asking what's going on with your business and what's going on with your life. And like you said, that was very comforting to talk to these people too. Some people we just knew from transactions, and other people were supporters, and other people were friends, as well. That's how you can make a difference. It's called just your friends, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just pick up the phone and call, and it's not too late, even though it's been 7 months into this. My mom actually was at the beginning. of this, she was worried about, worried about us and like, well, what's going to happen in real estate? And because you and I, we had some deals go on hold
Right.
at the end of March, and I said, well, Mom, I'm just calling people. And she's like, oh, I could do that. Because she's very social. She wasn't at her exercise class.
She's very active in her
very
community.
active.
Yeah.
Very active. And so when all of a sudden you go from seeing people all the time to seeing nobody, so she got her phone book out, and took her a couple months, and she got through it. And so it's really, all you have to do is just say, how are you doing? And that's it.
It's a simple conversation.
It is a simple conversation. So if you're in sales and marketing and you haven't done that with your clientele, now is a great time. We're getting into the holidays as well. So that's what I would do. And when I think the cutest story that we have of the calls that we made was
I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
To a client of ours who bought a house from us. We sold their house, and they bought a house in Winter Park. And he was basically semi-retired. He was working one day a week. And so I asked him what he was doing. And so he said that he started out walking a half mile, and then he built up to that. So when I talked to him, he was about at 2 or 3 miles at that point. And he lives pretty much at the north part of Winter Park, and I live at the south part. So a couple of months later, I see him walk by my house, and he was up to 8 miles. And as I was outside, I see Chuck, and he's coming down, and he's like, "Look at my calves! I have great calves now." It was really funny. So that was fun to see this progression of him really taking advantage of being at home, and his health was so much better.
Exactly. It must have been a surprise to open up your door and see him walking down the street.
Yeah, I think I was just getting the trash can, and then I see him walking down, and I'm like, "That's Chuck! Like, he's far away."
and you knew it wasn't a car broke down. You knew it was his walking routine now.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I just want to take this moment to reintroduce ourselves. If you're just joining us right now, I'm Stephen Ritz, and this is
Linda Sitek.
I'm not sure what side of the screen you're on. There we go. And we're with the Abode Home Team out of Keller Williams, Winter Park, here in Orlando, the Central Florida area. And what we thought we would do today is just talk to you about the different ways we've been able to serve the Orlando community, and ways you can serve your own community, whether you're in Central Florida or someplace else. And we really just covered talking with people that you know, friends, supporters of your business or sphere of influence, people, we call them care calls. And not salesy. We didn't really talk about real estate. We really wanted to find out how people were doing, because this was such a strange thing for everybody. So that's really the first way you can help with people. The second way would be to address food insecurity, like we did with Second Harvest and different fundraisers. And Linda, do you want to go into some of the specifics of some of the things we did even?
Yeah, so we started off last year. Megan Bertano, our executive coordinator on our team, suggested we do Thanksgiving pies, and with apple and pumpkin pies for our clients. And we do that at obviously Thanksgiving time. So she said last year, well, why don't people bring in food and we'll donate it to Second Harvest? So that really got us thinking of how we could give back to the community. And some people came to our pie event and didn't even want a pie, they just brought food. So
like, we don't need the sugar, but we wanted to support you and bring food.
Exactly. So that day we had over 300 pounds of food that we were able to donate to Second Harvest. So that kind of went into volunteering. Mm-hmm. So we started to volunteer at the beginning of the year.
And that was sorting food in the big warehouse and stuff, right?
Sorting food, exactly. They have usually two shifts in the day, and one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and it's just food sorting at their facility, which helps the 6 counties and over 550 partnerships. So it's really it's the hub to get out to the women's shelters, the senior centers, the daycares, the kids care, soup kitchens, and they have it down to a science. So that's a facility.
Really very impressive.
It really is. Yeah. And Second Harvest is 97% goes back to the community with financial donations with that. So that's a way to that we were doing that, but then we couldn't. And so then we have an advantage where we do have clientele that does have discretionary income. And so we started a Facebook donation and to donate to Second Harvest.
Right.
And so
we've done a couple of them now so far.
Yeah, so we've done
a couple of them.
done two so far. The first one, we had a goal of $1,000, which we met within the first day over that. And that fundraiser was $3,000. We did another one I think it was last month, and that was over $1,500. So we have, and you and I donated as well. And we was over $4,500 that we were able to raise. And it's literally like 5 minutes to do. So if it's Second Harvest or another nonprofit, you can do that yourself on Facebook, and it literally takes 5 minutes to set up.
I can attest to that because Linda and Megan had me set up the Facebook fundraiser on my account, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. What do I? And she's like, no, it'll walk you through it, and I did. So if Stephen Ritz can do it, anybody can do it. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah, so it was super easy. And now they're still wanting and needing volunteers back there. So during the lockdown, essentially, that was very difficult. But now if you want to, if you're still furloughed or you have time, they can still use your time. Saturdays are usually pretty busy and booked up. For right now, they're booked up for the next 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. So if you have a flexible schedule and you can do it during the week, they have plenty of spots open to do that.
Exactly. So that's really the second way we sort of helped out and gave back to the community. So I'm just going to reintroduce ourselves if that's okay. So people who are joining us right now, I'm Stephen Ritz and I'm with Linda Sitek, and we're the Abode Home Team at Keller Williams Winter Park. And today we're talking about different ways that we've been able to help the community. And we're only sharing these ways, not to brag, but just to tell you that you can do these same things.
Exactly, you can do it too.
There's multiple different ways. And the first way was just pick up the dumb phone and call people, not dumb people. Call up the dumb phone and call smart people. And and anyone who knows me, that's my sense of humor. But that really was cathartic because we enjoyed talking to people and finding out how they were handling it. It was unprecedented. And we're now on our second rounds of doing that, as a matter of fact.
We are.
Calling people again to see what's the latest, because things have changed in the last 7 months already.
That was
number one. Yeah, number two was working with a fundraising campaign for Second Harvest Food Bank for food insecurity. Here in Central Florida, there's so many people who are without jobs, especially in South Orlando and Osceola near the theme parks, that just haven't been picked up. Orlando has a lot of service food industries and restaurants and retail, hotels. Exactly. Thank you. And those people are furloughed or working not that much. So they need help. So that's the other way. So now we're going to talk about the third way. And that would be to donate gift cards to relieve some stress for different families, friends, or the community, or someone you just meet that you want to give some charity to, or not charity, but to help them along, right?
Yeah, it's passing. It's just what is it called?
Passing it forward.
And so what we did at the beginning in April was we did $20 gift cards to Publix to 25 of our clients. So we sent it out to them with a letter. If they could use it, great. If they know of somebody in need, to donate to donate that card and pass that along to somebody that they know. And so some of them were, if they had a cleaning crew that was cleaning their house for years, and then they weren't able to, they weren't deemed essential, they couldn't come in. So that's where one of our clients gave the card to their cleaning person that they had for many, many years because they couldn't come inside. So that's
donated to their place of worship, a church or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that's a way of doing that. So you can get, how can you help, support people with gift cards? So it doesn't have to be, Publix. It could be a number of different
stores, and it doesn't have to be $25. It could be $10.
It could be $5.
Yeah, exactly. Every little bit can help somebody.
It could be an Amazon gift card. It could be other supermarkets. Just every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I almost knocked over a glass of water, but
Don't
my
want that.
glass was empty, so it's all good.
Yes.
But that's certainly a different way, and with different organizations that are out there that could even use the gift cards too. You could donate them to the Mustard Seed. You could donate them to Second Harvest. You could donate them, as we mentioned before, to your place of worship. So that's really the third way. I'm just going to briefly say, I'm Stephen Ritz, and this is
Linda Sitek.
Exactly, with the Abode Home Team. And if you're just joining us, we're now on the, we're going to our fourth way of how you can help your community during COVID. We first covered up call people that you know, just to check on them, care calls, we call it. Second was to donate to some form of food bank, because there's so much food insecurity. We've put our efforts behind Second Harvest, but there's a number of different food banks in the different communities of Orlando and Central Florida. And the third way was if you have the ability to purchase some gift cards of different amounts, maybe to Publix, maybe to Winn-Dixie, maybe to Amazon, and give those to some people and pass them along and say, if you can use this, great. If not, pass it on to someone you need. So really the fourth way we're going to talk about, and that's really supporting an organization of your choosing. So it's really tying back into Second Harvest, but it's a little bit different because this is more of patronship, right, Linda, would you say, to different businesses?
Absolutely, yeah. The local businesses are the heart of our community, and then so are the different organizations and different nonprofits. And the ones that have struggled is ones that are indoors where there's a lot of people. So that would be that would be our arts, and the theater arts is really could use some help. So, for example, if you're a supporter of the arts, there's a local theater called Theater on the Edge, and that our own Megan she's been an actress there and a part of this theater that's in Edgewood area, just south of downtown Orlando. The live music at the Orlando Philharmonic or the Orlando Museum of Art or the Morris Museum. I read a statistic that at the end of 2020, that maybe a third of all museums might close because of COVID. Because
you don't think about those things. You think about restaurants and you think about places where you might go shopping, but you don't really think about museums necessarily at the top of mind. At least I don't.
Yeah. So that's where you could support that. And if you feel comfortable about going back, and quite a few of them have been safe. My husband and I, Mike, we volunteer at Birds of Prey, which is part of the Audubon, and they just started opening up the Birds of Prey in Maitland. So you can physically go there again and give money and support that. I mean, that's just an example, but there's so many different ways of helping the community to help. It's amazing to think about how this pandemic has hit so many different aspects of our life.
Exactly. That's true. And I'm just going to tag on to that. Along with that, feel free to support your local businesses too, that maybe mom and pop organizations. Now, I know that's controversial because we have locals who work for the big chains as well too. So people who live right next door might work at Olive Garden, and then people who work right next door might work at the local diner. So it's just supporting businesses in general in that regard, if you can. And that just goes along with the other type of organizations too.
Exactly.
So, but those are really the four ways. We're just going to wrap up, if that's okay, Linda.
That's great.
That's okay. So the four ways we've been able to help the community, and ways you can help the community, just with some of these ideas, is to call people that you know as care calls. Do something for a food bank to help with those for insecurity of food who are in need. Also donate gift cards, purchase some gift cards of different amounts, and pay it forward. I've gone through a couple drive-throughs, and the person ahead of me has paid for my meal. And so then I just went ahead and, literally this has happened about 4 times. I don't eat a lot of drive-throughs, but I get iced coffee at McDonald's. That's my go-to sometimes during the week. And so then my iced coffee may only cost, $2.79, and I might buy the meal behind me for, $5 or $10. But I feel I'm going to keep it going as long as I can and just pay it forward. That's another way to do it. And then support local organizations like museums, theaters, and things like that. See if they're how you can support them. Contact them.
Yeah,
and a lot of they're doing outside shows too, right, Linda? Some of them.
Yeah, some of them are exactly. Now that the weather is finally getting better here, yay, we could do stuff outside. So so some of the arts, the theater, and museums are trying to do something different to bring people to them safely.
Plaza Theater, I think, is having the one on Bumby is having a big outdoor concert, as a matter of fact, and they're selling tickets in groups of 4. So you're sitting in little groups of 4 pods, so that you can have outside venue for a concert, but not be too close to everybody else in the concert area. Neat. So if you're interested in finding out more, feel free to call us. I'm Stephen Ritz, and my phone number is 321-277-8271. You can always email me also at stephen@abodehometeam.com. And of course, our website is abodehometeam.com. And Linda, what's your details?
407-963-6544 is my cell. And then Linda at abodehometeam.com. You can DM us as well. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, or if you have any questions about buying and selling real estate, we would love to help. If you just want to have a market update, feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email. And if you've enjoyed this today, please share this video. So we're going to have that on our page. So sharing is caring, right, Steve?
Sharing is caring. That's exactly right. And thank you all for those people who watched today and who are watching in the future. You know, little snippets. I know that how that works with Facebook Live. But thank you so much, and we'll see you next week with another topic.
Yes, we'll be live next week.
Okay. Thanks. Bye, everybody.